May 2022, the moment the Philippines made its boldest naval move in decades. A place once known as the largest U.S. naval base outside America is coming back to life. But this time, it's led by the Philippines. Subic Bay, a deep, mountain-shielded harbor, is turning into a defense hub that could change the balance of power in Asia. For many Filipinos, this is not just about ships and weapons. It's about sovereignty, about protecting their own waters from foreign threats. But with bold moves come big risks. Will this make the Philippines stronger or turn it into a bigger target? Picture this: warships from multiple nations anchored side by side, just 500 kilometers from Taiwan, staring across the South China Sea. And if you live in Southeast Asia, what happens here could decide who holds power in the region. In the next few minutes, you'll see the hidden plan to turn Subic Bay into the Philippines' most powerful military asset and a regional game changer. Since the early 1900s, Subic Bay has been more than just a harbor. It's been a naval stronghold, a place global powers fought to control. It served through the World Wars, through Vietnam, and all through the Cold War. In each of those times, Subic Bay was a key player in keeping Southeast Asia secure. The bay's location made it priceless. Deep waters for the largest warships, mountains for natural protection, and quick access to the South China Sea. For decades, it was the largest U.S. naval base outside America. Thousands of sailors passed through its docks. Warships came and went, carrying out missions that shaped the history of the region. But in 1992, that era ended. The United States left, ending its military presence. Subic Bay grew quiet. No foreign warships, no military command, just a memory of what it once was. For 30 years, the waters stayed calm, but the world beyond them was changing. In May 2022, the silence broke. The Philippines reactivated Naval Operating Base Subic. It wasn't just about reopening old docks. It was the first step in a major power move, a return to the global stage. And this time, the Philippines is in command. The question is, why now? Why make this move after 3 decades of quiet waters? The reason is simple and urgent. Tensions in the South China Sea are rising faster than ever. The Philippines is caught in the middle. Its fishing grounds challenged, its territory claimed by others, its people pushed back in their own waters. Fishermen tell stories of being chased away, of larger ships blocking their path, of warning shots in waters that have fed their families for generations. This isn't just about maps or lines on paper, it's about livelihoods. It's about the feeling of being powerless in the face of stronger forces. That's why Subic Bay's revival is more than just a military move. It's a signal. A signal to the world that the Philippines will not simply watch its waters slip away. By bringing warships back to Subic Bay, the country is doing more than building defense. It's raising a flag, a statement of national pride. It's the nation saying, loud and clear, "We will defend our waters." Every dock repaired, every ship stationed there is a message that this time, the bay will not be left empty. But here's the question. Can pride and symbolism actually protect a nation? Or does it take something far more powerful to keep enemies away? Subic Bay isn't just any port. Its deep harbor can hold the largest warships in the world, ships so massive that many ports can't handle them at all. It's only 500 kilometers from Taiwan, sitting right on the edge of one of the most volatile flashpoints in the South China Sea. And it's not just close to trouble. It's built for defense. Mountains surround the bay, shielding it from typhoons and making it harder for enemies to attack from the air. The geography itself works like a natural fortress. In 2023, the Philippine government secured 100 hectares of this valuable land for the Navy. The plan? To base frigates, corvettes, and amphibious craft right here, ready to move at a moment's notice. That means more than just patrols. It means rapid deployment to protect fishing grounds, reinforce disputed islands, or respond to any sudden threat. In a region where minutes can decide the outcome of a conflict, Subic Bay gives the Philippines the ability to act fast and forcefully. It's a powerful position, but power in this part of the world rarely stands alone, which leads to the bigger question. Who's backing the Philippines in this ambitious buildup? It's like fortifying your home when the neighborhood starts getting dangerous. The Philippines isn't just watching the waters, it's reinforcing Subic Bay, and it's not doing it alone. The United States is back under the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, EDCA. This means joint patrols in disputed waters and infrastructure upgrades to make the bay more powerful than ever. But that's not all. Two small islands at the mouth of the bay, Grande and Chiquita, could soon host advanced surveillance posts. From there, they can track every movement in and out of the South China Sea. It's a setup that gives the Philippines eyes over some of the busiest and most contested waters in the world. And then comes the twist. France has entered talks to build a submarine support complex at Subic. If that happens, it won't just be an American and Philippine stronghold. It will be part of a wider network of allied nations, all watching the same waters, all ready to act together. It's a big step forward for defense, but it also raises a bigger question. Is this really just about protecting the Philippines? Or is it the first step in setting up for something far bigger? Subic Bay is no longer just a Philippine base. It's quickly turning into a hub for multinational operations. In February 2025, the United States opened a massive rapid response logistics warehouse right here. This isn't just a storage building. It's stocked with supplies, weapons, and equipment ready to move at a moment's notice. If a crisis erupts, ships can load, troops can gear up, and everything can deploy in hours, not days. That means any flashpoint, from the South China Sea to the waters near Taiwan, could see an instant show of force. But this kind of speed doesn't go unnoticed. Rivals, especially China, are watching closely. To them, these moves are not just defense. They look like provocations. Every new facility, every patrol, every drill adds more pressure to an already tense region. And pressure like this can explode fast. One wrong move, one misunderstanding, and a standoff could turn into a conflict before anyone has time to react. Which brings us to the most important question yet. What's the secret capability that could take all of this and change everything? Subic Bay has always been more than just a naval base. Back in its peak, it was so self-contained it had its own power plant, water system, schools, and even cinemas. It was like a small city, built to run on its own, ready for anything. Now, decades later, it's becoming self-sufficient again. The new upgrades include cold storage facilities, not for weapons, but for humanitarian aid and disaster response. In a region hit often by typhoons and earthquakes, that makes Subic Bay valuable in both war and peace. But the changes don't stop there. Plans are moving forward for a joint ammunition plant. They could reload right here, within striking distance of the South China Sea. Step by step, the pieces are falling into place. Humanitarian support, military readiness, international cooperation. It all feels connected. But what's the hidden plan that ties all of these projects together? Some sources believe Subic Bay is being shaped into something far bigger than a naval base. They suggest it could become the Allied Naval Command Center for all of Southeast Asia. From here, joint fleets could be directed, patrols could be coordinated, and missions could be launched across one of the most contested seas on Earth. And that's not the only whisper. There's talk of advanced undersea monitoring systems already being set up. If true, these would allow Allied forces to track submarines and underwater activity across vast stretches of the South China Sea. A game-changing advantage in any naval conflict. But Philippine officials aren't confirming anything. Every time they're asked, they give careful answers, revealing little. It's clear they want the true scale of the plan to stay hidden. At least for now. Why? Maybe because the real goal isn't just about today. Maybe it's about preparing for a regional crisis scenario. One where decisions have to be made in minutes, and every advantage could decide the outcome. The pieces are on the board, but the strategy behind them is still in the shadows. Which leaves the biggest question of all. What is the ultimate purpose behind Subic Bay's rise? The hidden plan is starting to come into focus. Step by step, Subic Bay is being woven into a regional defense integration network, a chain of allied bases spread across Southeast Asia, from Singapore to Vietnam, from Japan to Australia. This network is designed so that any attack on the Philippines would trigger a rapid multinational military response. That means Subic Bay isn't just defending its own coastline anymore. It's part of a much larger shield, one that could respond to threats anywhere in the region within hours. Picture this. A hostile fleet makes a move in the South China Sea. In minutes, satellite data and radar tracking from the network pinpoint its location. From Subic, commands go out. Allied ships in nearby bases launch. Aircraft take off. Submarines shift position. The response isn't just fast, it's overwhelming. This is the ultimate realization. Subic Bay is no longer just a Philippine port. It's the country's strongest strategic move in decades, turning it into a key power player in regional security. It sends a message to friends and rivals alike. If you touch our waters, you face us all. But power comes with risk. By stepping into this role, Subic Bay also steps into the spotlight. In any conflict, it would be one of the first targets. That's the trade-off: stronger defense and greater influence, but also greater danger. And yet, for the Philippines, it's a risk worth taking. Because in the dangerous chessboard of the Asia-Pacific, Subic Bay has gone from being a quiet square to the queen, powerful, mobile, and able to change the game in a single move. The ultimate realization is clear. Subic Bay is no longer just a port on a map. It's now a central pillar in Southeast Asia's security network. Every dock, every radar, every patrol from this bay is now part of something far bigger. A regional shield made of allied nations, ready to respond together. And here's the twist in perspective. It's no longer just about hosting ships. It's about projecting allied power far beyond the bay's calm waters. From here, influence stretches across the South China Sea, up toward Taiwan, and deep into the Pacific. It's a forward position, a nerve center, and a message all at once. There's a lesson in this. Geography, when used with strategy, is as powerful as any weapon. A mountain-protected bay, 500 kilometers from key flashpoints, has become more valuable than the most advanced missile. Because the right location, in the right hands, can decide the outcome before a battle even begins. But there's also a cost. With this rise in status comes greater risk. Subic Bay is now a symbol of Philippine pride, but also a target that rivals cannot ignore. In a crisis, it could be one of the first places tested, and the weight of that risk will be felt by every sailor, every commander, and every citizen who knows what's at stake. Still, for many Filipinos, the revival of Subic Bay is worth it. It's a declaration that the Philippines will not be a bystander in its own region, that it will shape the future instead of waiting for others to decide it. And it all began in May 2022. The start of a new era for Philippine naval power. But here's the question that echoes in the minds of leaders, allies, and rivals alike. Will Subic Bay's rise be the shield that protects Southeast Asia? Or will it be the spark that lights the very conflict it was built to deter? Because in the chessboard of the Pacific, every move has a consequence. And this may be the boldest move the Philippines has made in decades. Subic Bay's transformation is proof that a nation can reclaim what was once lost and redefine it for a new age. For the Philippines, this isn't just about ships, bases, or military drills. It's about taking control of its own future. It shows that with the right vision, an old stronghold can become more powerful than ever, not just as a defense post, but as a symbol of national strength. And this story isn't only about the Philippines, it's about a shift in Southeast Asia's power map, a change that affects every nation in the region and could shape the balance of power for years to come. Factories hum, docks light. Young officers learn sea's language while veterans teach what charts don't show. Each crane that moves, each radar sweep, adds weight to a simple message. The center of gravity shifts. Allies take note. Rivals too. This is strategy made tangible. Steel, concrete, will. It builds jobs today and deterrence tomorrow. It invites cooperation, yet warns. Geography becomes leverage. Distance becomes timing. But momentum cuts both ways. With strength comes scrutiny and risk. Subic stands where opportunity meets danger. A line measured in minutes, not miles. Because what happens in Subic Bay doesn't stay in Subic Bay. It ripples outward, across the South China Sea, into regional politics, and into the strategies of allies and rivals alike. From diplomatic meeting rooms in Jakarta to naval command centers in Tokyo, every shift here sparks discussions, plans, and counterplans. Fishermen in Palawan, traders in Singapore, and strategists in Washington all feel the tremors in their own ways. A port's expansion becomes a headline, a patrol becomes a signal, and every alliance move is weighed for what it means tomorrow. Subic Bay has become a reference point, a place nations look to when reading the winds of change in Asia. If you want more deep dives into the moves that are shaping regional and global security, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss the next big story that could decide the future of the region. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you see Subic Bay's revival as a calculated masterstroke? The Philippines, stepping into a role it was always destined to play? Or is it a dangerous gamble, a high-stakes move that could place the country squarely in the crosshairs during the next crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this debate is just getting started.